Good day once again. We now move to the second part of this explainer video where we will focus on the essential elements of the IDF, the instructional principles, design aspects, and the learning events. As you watch, observe how these elements help guide the design of a meaningful and learner-centered instruction. Earlier, we saw how IDF keeps the learner at the center of instructional experience and aligns curriculum, teaching, and assessment. So, this time, we will now take a closer look at the essential elements of IDF. On the screen, take a look at the three core sets of components within the IDF. So you have there the instructional principles, the instructional design aspects, and the essential learning events. So each of these gives different lens for planning instruction. One focuses on the values that guide the design. Another is the dimension that enrich learning, and the last one on the flow of learning experiences. And as we go through them, let us keep asking a practical question. How can these components help us design a more meaningful and effective science instruction? So let us begin with the four I's or the instructional principles. So this expresses the core values that should shape the design of teaching and learning. So these principles guide a teacher in ensuring that instruction is not only organized but also meaningful, inclusive, and responsive to how learners learn best. So again, four I's or the four instructional principles represent the core principle that guide teachers in making instructional decision. So a principle, as we know, is a fundamental idea or a guiding belief that shapes how something is being done. So in this case, the instructional principles help teachers think about the important qualities that should shape lesson design, the teaching, and the assessment. The four I's, the innovative, integrative, inclusive, and ideational, surround the learner, guiding teaching and assessment decisions toward a meaningful, connected, and learner centered instruction. So the first instructional principle is inclusive. So inclusive instruction focuses on designing learning opportunities that are equitably accessible and that respects the unique circumstances of all our learners. So this means that in planning instruction, we recognize that learners do have differ in background, readiness, language, interests, abilities, and even learning needs. So it ensures that every learner can participate and succeed by using varied supports and flexible ways to engage and express understanding. So in science, this means using visual materials and differentiated tasks to make learning accessible and responsive to diversity. The next instructional principle is ideational. So this focuses on creating a context where learners are encouraged to generate ideas or generate concepts that express their thinking in a psychologically safe learning environment. So learners are given space to think, ask questions, build meaning with their initial ideas, value the starting point for a deeper understanding. And in science, this is seen when our learners predict, explain observations, and propose ideas before the formal explanations. Another instructional principle is innovative, and this refers to exploring new and creative ways to design and deliver instruction so that learning becomes more engaging, meaningful, and responsive to our learners' needs. So, innovation in teaching does not always mean using advanced technology. It can also mean using fresh strategies, authentic tasks, or alternative ways of helping learners understand ideas. And being innovative means moving beyond routine methods to design engaging or relevant learning experiences. So, such as using simulations, local materials, investigations, and real life scenarios in science. The last one, the fourth instructional principle, is integrative. So this focuses on designing learning experiences that connects concepts across topics, across disciplines, or real-world contexts so that learners can build more coherent and meaningful understanding. So integrative instruction helps learners see the connection among ideas. So in science, this may involve studying environmental issues by combining science with math on analyzing data, or in English, in communicating, writing proposals, or in social studies, where the learners can analyze the social effect of environmental problems. And to summarize, the four instructional principles again give us the core qualities that should shape the lesson design and instructional decisions. Inclusive reminds us to respond to diverse learning or learning needs of our learners through equity, accessibility, differentiation, and learner centered teaching. Ideational emphasizes conceptual understanding, higher order thinking, critical thinking, and deep learning by giving our learners opportunities to generate and develop ideas. Integrative highlights the importance of connecting concepts across topics, discipline, and real world context so that our learners can synthesize knowledge and apply what they have learned meaningfully. And finally, innovative, on the other hand, it encourages creativity, adaptive teaching method, technology integration, and opportunities that foster curiosity and exploration. Now that we have unpacked the four I's, we can now move on to the next set of component, which is the four C's, or the aspects of instructional design. So while the four I's gives us the guiding principles or values that shape instruction, four C's now help us look at the important dimensions that make learning experiences richer, more meaningful, and more learner-centered. So the four C's, or the aspects of instructional design, this refers to the key aspects that should be considered in designing holistic instruction. So if the four I's serve as the guiding principles, the four C's now focus on the important dimension that shapes the quality of learner experiences in the classroom. And these four aspects are connection, context, collaboration, and creativity, with the learner still at the center. So the forces do not usually appear in isolated parts of a lesson. Rather, they are naturally emerging in instructional design when teachers select and use appropriate pedagogical approaches or teaching methods or assessment strategies that fit the lesson goals and learners' need. So the first aspect of this aspect is the context. So this means that learning is situated in a meaningful real world situations or issues so that concepts becomes more relevant and purposeful to the learners. And when instruction is grounded in context, learners are better able to see why what they are learning matters. And context also refers to the learner's situation or the learning environment. Example, the prior knowledge of the learners, their needs, experiences, or the real world conditions that make learning meaningful and relevant. Another aspect is connection. So this means that instruction helps learners link new ideas to prior knowledge, related concepts, or even other disciplines so that understanding becomes more coherent. And learning becomes stronger when new knowledge is not presented as something isolated, but something connected to the learners, learners already know or experienced. And connection is important because learners make meaning by relating new information to existing understanding. Next, another important aspect is creativity. So this means giving learners opportunities to generate explanation, create models or solutions in original and thoughtful ways so that it deepen understanding. So creativity goes beyond artistic expression. So again, creativity goes beyond artistic expression. So it includes flexible thinking and problem solving as learners organize ideas, make decisions, and express understanding meaningfully. Finally, the fourth aspect is collaboration. So, this means that learners engage in structured interaction and discourse to construct, refine, or justify ideas collectively. So, collaboration is not simply working together or beside one another or just simple group work. It involves purposeful exchange of ideas that helps learners think more deeply and learn with others. In science, we can see this during group investigation, data interpretation, problem solving tasks, or class discussions where learners explain the evidence and justify the conclusion in the experiment or in an investigation together. And to encapsulate the four key aspects again of instructional design helps ensure learning experiences more meaningful, coherent, interactive, and engaging. So context reminds us to consider that learning environment, learners' prior knowledge, their needs, and the real world cultural and social situation that make learning relevant. Connection focuses on the linking concepts to practical applications, integrating ideas across lessons or disciplines, and bridging theory and practice. Collaboration emphasizes interaction among learners through peer learning, group work, cooperative problem solving, social learning experiences. And lastly, creativity highlights the need to design engaging activities, use innovative teaching methods, encourage original thinking, and foster curiosity. And taken together, these four aspects will help teachers design instruction that is more holistic, learner centered, and responsive to how learners make meaning. And now that we have examined the four C's, we can now further move on to the next component of IDF, which is the four E's or the essential learning events. So, if the four C's describe the important aspects that enrich instruction, four E's now help us look at the flow of learning experiences that guides learners through the lesson. So, as we go through these four E's, let us think about how each event supports learner engagement, understanding, and application. So here the four E's or again four learning events refer to the essential moments. Again, essential moments in instruction that help create effective and engaging learning experiences. So these are engage, explore, empathize, and experience with again learner at the center. So they organize the learning as purposeful events that support attention, inquiry, understanding, interaction, and application. So one important point to remember is that 4 E's do not always happen in fixed or one-way sequence. Again, it does not always happen in a fixed one-way sequence. So these learning events may occur at different points in the lesson depending on the purpose of instruction, the needs of the learners, and the nature of the content being taught. So lesson flow is not strictly linear. Teachers can flexibly use each event as needed, focusing on their meaningful use to support learning. Let's go the four E's one by one. Engage first. It is the learning event that draws learners into the lesson. So it focuses on capturing the attention, sparking the curiosity, and building the interest so that learners become mentally and emotionally ready to participate in the learning process. So at this point, the teacher creates an entry to learning by presenting something that is, let's say, motivating, interesting, surprising, or relevant, or thought provoking. And this may be done through questions, big questions, a short scenario, a demonstration, a picture, or a problem, or a real life situation that makes the learner want to know more. Next is explore. So explore is the learning event where learners actively investigate, inquire, and make sense of the ideas through their own engagement. So it allows them to discover new concepts and ideas by observing, experimenting, discussing, or examining information before the formal explanation are fully given to them. So in science, this may happen through simple investigations, hands-on activities, observation tasks, or a small group analysis of a phenomenon. Third is experience. So experience is the learning event where learners use what they have explored to construct explanation, also to apply concepts and to demonstrate understanding. So at this point, the teacher provides activities that require learners to explain ideas, solve problems, create models, complete tasks, or simply apply concepts in authentic situation. And through experience, learners deepen their understanding because they are able to apply learning in concrete and meaningful ways. Finally, empathized is the learning event that helps learners see why lesson matters beyond the classroom. Again, it enables our learners see why the lesson matters beyond the classroom. It enables them to connect what they are learning to human feelings and emotions, human experiences, community concerns, and even environmental realities, making learning more personal, relevant, and meaningful. So in science class, empathize may happen when the learners relate a concept to personal and community health, safety, environmental protection, or personal or community problems or issues, or even everyday life situations. Taken together, the four learning events describe the key kinds of learner experiences that should be present in a classroom or in a lesson. So, engage sparks the attention and interest, explore allows learners to investigate and discover, experience gives them the opportunity to apply and demonstrate understanding, and empathize help them connect learning to human, social, and environmental realities. So these four are not meant to be fixed sequence, but they appear at a different point or at different points in the lesson depending on the objective, content, and needs of the learners. It is also important to clarify that these four E's in the instructional design framework are different. They are different from the five E's or seven E's used in the science inquiry based lesson models. So the four E's here are broader learning events or facets that can guide lesson design across the learning areas, while the 5E or 7E models are specific inquiry based teaching sequence used in science. So, as we wrap up the instructional design framework, this reminds us that effective teaching does not happen by chance. It is guided by a clear, coherent design that aligns the curriculum, instruction, and assessment across grade levels and across learning areas, always with the learner at the center. And more than a diagram, the IDF guides the intentional decision making on what, how, and how to assess learning, ensuring they are aligned, meaningful, and purposeful experiences are provided for all our learners. So, again, at this point, I will pause for a short while and I will let your facilitator guide you through the next activity.